international tournament, we got the Rumble for the first time. Now we get the Bay.
Let's hope it's not like Bin's Rumble, though. Let's be real.
That is true. That is true.
You know, Bin has beat Grip. Game number 3, the early game from PSG was so strong, and it was one team fight gone awry from Junja, from Maple, and the rest of the crew that put them in position. The audience here in Chengdu, as you can hear, are starting to flare up because BLG need their support to get it over the line.
Betty brings out his Ezreal here on the world stage. PSG already surprising people by getting to this point, getting a upset victory over BLG, and then pushing them so heavily in the previous game to the point that a mid-game team fight just brings a very quick conclusion to it. But still, they have looked so much better than a lot of people thought they were going to do. And now we're getting a lot of these wards here looking for the swap, and it looks like, is that going to see them? No, it didn't see them.
I think the question now is, what does On do? Is it On just resets, goes top, and actually starts to farm with Bin to make sure he's okay? But they're very late. Bin doesn't spot this, and now Woody and Betty are in behind him. He can't get back to his turret.
Try rush ward, you're right. And as he walks on out, it could be too late. Are they going to pop around the corner? Yes, Woody and Betty are there, as you said. The lane going to be completely zoned out, and with the poke and the range that Kobe talked about, Bin's now going to think of an option.
Both junglers here, starting on the bottom side though. So you see Bin here looking around, trying to get some extra information and walk up towards mid lane here. But this is not going to be a successful gank. They've got wards for Maple, no problem.
Might just queue through, help out with the wave, poke Maple, but Maple just zones back and he's already done the damage to the wave.
Yeah, there's little that Bin can do here. He kind of needs to just move down to bot side, look to group up with his team and try and find something. Looks like the wave 2 crash, trying to go for an early dive potentially on Aja here.
But I have to say, such a big deal with the junglers there and starting bottom side for Junjia. If we can see the mini-map, I'm pretty sure he stole away so much and shouldn't just doing well, I just got to get out of there. He's just sticking around. He's trying to soak it. All right. How long can he last?
Rinse and repeat this one. Bin now zones him off. 4 members here. How clean will the dive? Kobe asks the question, shall we receive? He buys time, pushes back, and the damage ain't there. On takes 2 turret shots, almost dies. They're going to rinse and repeat, and now as Shun gets healed on up, he tanks the turret, and First Blood goes over to Bin for the response, but Woody's roam mid. Knight's in a bit of trouble. He's going to be flared up, slowed down, autos through. Knight holds onto the flash, importantly, but Betty gets the turret plate.
And I got to bring it back to jungle here with the camps available, because it's going to be 4 people pushing on bottom. But Shun's not going to have any camps available since, as I said, Junjia started on his bottom side, took all the camps, and then went up, crossed over to red quadrant of BLG. Aji's back for some more experience.
And they've all shared the turret plating, so yes, more turret plating spot, but I think Betty's solo turret plating top.
And now you've got Woody down on this bottom side to make sure Aja can get this massive wave, whereas Bin, he's not going to be able to get it. It's Knight who TPs into the top lane to try and collect that. So the Vayne going to reset now, more than likely try and move into mid, but you've already lost that wave. So BLG, they lose out on the jungle camps, they lose out on the wave experience and the wave collections, and PSG Talon are setting themselves up nicely.
They certainly are. Learning over the course of the tournament here.
Yeah.
Now with a very strong opening for themselves. Shun, after his Scuttle Crab, is going to look mid just because you don't have anything else to do, but it might work.
Man, I mean, Maple might have to flash. Here we go. Bolt breaker in. Maple doesn't time it. Instead, it's On who gets a knock-up. Almost turns into a bad one. The seismic shot back doesn't do what Kobe said. Now Woody here trying to get a trade, but Maple has to back away, and he just teleported in.
Oh yeah, close to tower there, trying to get some chunk damage right as they had the reset coming out too, and Woody walking up, looking for some extra punishment, but Maple no flash now on mid.
Do you remember in game 1, Elk got solo killed by Arja? I believe it was game 1, where he was on Kalista and Arja just took him out. Maybe giving a bit of respect there as that bottom lane turns into 1v1 again with On moving down.
Yeah, Bin is going to be relatively okay here in this top
side.
I was going to say, yeah, he can get those silver bolt procs, you're going to be fine. Betty going to look to try and play range with the poke. Woody now on that top end, though, is a little bit dangerous, which is why Bin, not really sure what he's supposed to be doing. Looking for the reset here, but that could be another wave lost to the tower here for BLG.
Bin has to run it into lane. He's got Ghost, remember, not TP.
Meanwhile, Jinjia, because he was able to clear so many camps, still hasn't reset to go purchase. He's hovering here to make sure Aja's going to be able to soak the rest of the experience, but taking his own Krugs again on respawn and coming back out with a full Bomby Cinder advantage over Shun.
Your point hits hard, 44 to 24 CS. I'm glad you mentioned it, Kobe, and tracked this early game because that's big.
But the other one is Aja, level 5 to Bin's level 3.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
now losing more CS to the top lane. He can't sit under turret solo. So Aja soaks one wave, just now TP's back in, gets to soak another wave, and Bin is homeless. He doesn't have a job right now. There's nothing he can do on the map.
Just running around, headless chicken, or rather, after top gets pushed on out and more plates go down, Bin helps out with the dragon and then goes to return to his adventure in the bottom side. And remember, all that turret plating shared, Betty and Woody are absorbing so much themselves. 3 plates now for this top side.
But Aja is going to hit level 6,
Yep.
have Ghost, and Bin is just going to lose his mind because there's nothing he can do about it. Especially, yes, he got the early kill, but Aja has been able to get the CS, get the gold. He's able to answer for a lot of that. I'm going to try and stop the resets here, see if he can do something, but this is a disaster for BLG.
Jinjia looking for some Raptors here as well. But Knight in mid lane going to come back at the same time that Shun is able to collect those. I mean, if that one had gone stolen away too, that would be level 6 for the Sejuani.
Yeah.
So very, very good that Shun at least is able to get his own Raptors, but still probably should be Scuttle Crab there for the Sedge. Level 6 acquired off of leeching from mid.
Elkin on, finally going to have to push topside. Remember, people at home, they're going to be looking at this be like, yeah, PSG don't have much of a gold lead, but remember where the gold went on BLG. Remember what PSG are doing here. And remember the jungle advantage. Junja now level 6, as you mentioned. Shun is getting zoned away.
Yeah, they can definitely force him off, and they do both have Smite. If he wins the Smite as well and continue to starve this Vi, oh man, I really want to see that story there because the Ashe moves up to scare him as well.
Yeah, Shun didn't even smite. Never got a chance to get into position, and Aja goes to the top lane to make sure he's able to pick up this wave, whereas Bin just kind of stuck here. Wave is pushing out from him. He can't do anything.
He can't, and there's a level 6 Sejuani here.
Just walks into brush. He's like, hang on a minute. Ward's down. Junja holds on to the ulti, but Bin ghosted off that as well. He's scared. He's trying to kite and condemn down, but Permafrost Glacial Prison. Two-shot barrage. Woody's range in. He flashes, gets the kill, and Bin is down.
The true shot barrage from downtown is the extra little bit of damage that they need, and Woody flashes in to finish it. PSG, the lane swap. It's beautiful for them.
And sometimes we talk about play-ins giving you a buff.
Yeah.
The fact you get these games under your belt, you get the practice, and PSG are a well-oiled machine when it comes to these lane swaps. And BLG, they don't look ready for this whatsoever. It's like, welcome to the MSI meta.
And it's really highlighting adaptation because PSG did not come in as a well-oiled machine with lane swaps. It was definitely looking rough for them, but they improved on it. They practiced it.
Am I allowed to say raise your koalas because the LCO were in this region? Am I allowed to attach to that?
You're allowed.
I think people at home, it's late for Australians, but I think for the LJL alike, remember, all under the banner of their playoffs, the PCS is stepping up huge here today. It's an early game gold lead, and we talk about the state of the map being beneficial right now as well. Betty's having an insane series too. Let's not forget. But at least the BLG bottom lane is starting to push in Aja as they try and push in this bottom lane turret too.
And it's not just the fact that they have these experience leads for top and for jungle. It's that also, everybody knows, top laners on low economy, you would much rather have a low economy Cassante, especially in the hands of Aja after he had such a good game for PSG earlier in the series on it. And Bin here on the fasting Vayne gonna have a bit of a rough time as Aja's kind of low now.
Is he gonna die? Close to Feathers Fly, Elk, overzealous. Aja gets out.
The biggest problem I've had is that most of my games I've seen a low economy Vayne top, and I feel like I'm getting to see a very similar story here, as now Terrors will be traded on both sides of the map, but Void Grub's going to be spawning on the top half of the map sooner in favor of PSG Talon. I don't think they want to stick around though. It's a 30-second time window, so they need to reset, come back into this bottom half of the map. So at the moment, I think Void Grubs will belong to BLG, but it's the Dragon that I'm most interested in, because that should go in favor of PSG.
Neville's making the roam up. You can see pings are going down because Bin is on the wave. They know he's in the brush. He's hit level 6 at least, but Bin is still getting targeted by PSG.
So BSG are actually going to open mid with Betty and Woody so that then they can contest on towards Void Grubs as they come up. They'd love to be able to get the 6, especially when you're looking for this much pressure on the push. So at the moment, pushing back on, getting Elk out of the way so they can contest on the mid wave.
Yeah, exactly. I think PSG here, with Betty getting his Essence Reaver completed, should be able to have mid push and should be able to have access to 6 grubs if Maple doesn't get caught.
Well, cease and desist starts it off. Bin goes into the final hour, and now it's night hunting time as the Enchanted Crystal Arrow doesn't connect. But BLG back away. They don't want to overstep this one with everyone from PSG MIA.
All right. I mean, 6 Void Grubs when you're the team that has the level advantage on the top laners and you're the team that has the mobility of a Talia here towards the later stages, that could do a lot for some split push power.
Plus Essence Flux for Betty as well. Very good split pushing mechanic, not only turret pushing mechanic here in the mid game.
Also, health chipping mechanic is on.
Yep.
Nicely demonstrated for us. But I do think as well, the fact that you end up using Shun's ultimate on the top half of the map means that PSG know that that ultimate's down for both objectives now. They push in mid, they get the Void Grubs. They push in mid, they get position on Dragon. And Shun just doesn't really have anything available. Neither does Bin. And with Aja actually being in a position to push here, it's very tough for BLG to commit to anything right now.
PSG in a very good position here. But remember, we have had 2 games already instantly end for BLG once they get an ace onto PSG. So we'll definitely still keep track of the possibility of those team fights. But PSG, I just have to say, they're racking up so many objectives, so many W's here in this game number 4.
And if that team fight is going to go their way, it feels like it has to be nice. He has the CS lead. You can see a 600 gold lead, 500 gold lead for himself there in the mid lane. But this is not a champion that we've seen Knight massively perform on. This is not the champion that we associate with Knight. Yes, he played it in playoffs, but it was not to the caliber that you expect from the BLG mid laner, from an MSI world champion, no less. And now he'll have to step up for BLG outside of his country.
The crazy thing is, though, you and I were talking about this on the car on the way here, where, you know, recently Knight hasn't been that international disappointment. We talked about that previously, where he'd come to these internationals quite recently and stepped down. Let's pause for a second, because need to find out how he gets out of this one. Juju's not going to follow. But Knight has recently done it with MSI, as we talked about.
And I think that's where we got to see in 2020 during the mid-season cup that Knight actually got a little bit of success in an international sense playing against the LCK, but that was an at-home tournament. That wasn't international on the main stage. It's only kind of coming into last year. He's got to shrug that mantle off now. No, On needs to shrug these off.
Back was cancelled. He's interrupted. Junja looks for the permafrost, the arrow, the ulti as well. He flashes out, but that's 2 ultis confirmed. Now that PSG have used them, is coming down the bot side, there's no counterplay yet.
Yeah, Knight comes down to try and defend on their on. It costs him both his summoner spells, though. Having no flash on the recon for what you want for the engage is going to be really, really painful, because Betty has control of mid lane. Betty on this Ezreal pick.
He just pressed E into a Vi. I mean, that shows you everything, doesn't it?
Meanwhile, Knight down here, one of the 2 defending MSI champions
Shifting
from JDG
there.
last year.
He flashes, so another summoner gained here by PSG.
Yeah, Knight and 369 returning to the tournament this year. He's going to have to do a lot of work, though, like you guys are saying, in this game. And now he doesn't have his flash either. No flash on him, no flash on. The tools here that BLG have to get that really big team fight are slowly getting whittled away.
And with Ripchild now available on the map, this is where PSG talent can look to try and utilize the fact they have control over mid. Elk.
Quickness. Oh, stops it, interrupts, and with the knock-up as well from the grand entrance, Maple's got nowhere to go. Knight comes in, and giving gold to the hero of BLG is exactly how you start.
The golden left hand. We just say how much pressure is on his shoulders, and they give him some gold.
And the handsome support on the most handsome of supports, managing to set that one up as well. The recon roam, fantastic, but Bin going on to Aja. This is not Bin's side of the map, though.
Let's find out how well he does. The flip does connect in the end. Aja's still going to be taken down slowly, but not surely, as Shun moves up.
So they got the Ashe on the way. Woody coming up to protect his top laner. They know the PSG are here. On doesn't have his ultimate available.
Nor does he have the flash available. He burned it before, remember. Permafrost is there. Woody behind. The arrow off of cooldown as Dagda talked about before, and because of that, BLG won't walk towards the Herald. Another objective for PSG.
Yeah, Knight was bottom side. He finished pushing that wave, went for his recall, got his purchase off, mask picked up. They don't want to take anything too crazy at the moment, so PSG finish up their Rift Herald.
Well, Knight really is choving, isn't he? I mean, he's got the Nashes picked up. He's got the Leandries on the way.
I mean, he is their hope right now. Level 12 on the Azir, by far the highest level since Bin got so starved out, the other solo laner.
And I like what On is doing, just play towards that strength, see if he can keep Knight in a position where he can carry. Elk is happy to just wave clear all day against Betty in the mid lane, although taking a few pop shots from Betty. But now Rift out in the bottom side, PSG using their advantages around Maple well.
And it's just gonna be that trade. Bottom side for PSG, for top side over there for BLG. Of course, if you have the Rift Herald, you usually get a way harder push.
TP from Nice, just into this bottom side to try and defend this. A lot of members of PSG, though, Shun hiding to see if PSG overextend.
Knight flashes though, it's Maple rather, but Knight's now fully committed. Permafrost 1 and flashing for it, Junja under the turret, but not enough damage, they all come in. Junja about to die though as Shun gets a trade. Now Vault Breaker's out of here, but the rest of BLG, Kobe, what's happening?
Elk and On are on the way. They were thinking about making it a long play there, but nobody's gonna chase. Elk got chunked too low under the tower, so he can't afford to chase them down. The Zyricon gonna have to be content to go right back.
It was this 16 minutes into the game. We're diving tier 2s. This is a very broken game, but On wants to break it more, and potentially Maple's back, but Maple gets out of there.
It's because you come into this series, and very few people were expecting this series to be this tense and this close. People have been lulled because of the 3-0s that have been happening, and because BLG are so heavily favored, but PSG pushed them to the brink. There we go. Saw the beginning of it as Knight went for the play, and Junjia's like, I'm not gonna let you get away with that. He flashed in to get the permafrost stun so they could get the kill onto him, and the shutdown does go over.
And it's greedy from Knight. You have no flash to get back out. That needed to connect. You knew the PSG were there and on the way. PSG get the kill back. It is a 1-for-1, but still the damage done to the bot side turret. Now the Dragon taken and On going to be forced back here by Woody. I wouldn't be surprised to see immediately Maple collect his bot wave and another attack onto the tier 2 come through for PSG.
And BLG with their gold lead. Let's see about the mid prio as well, as all the pings are coming out. Jinjia.
Elk could be in trouble. He's trying to dodge everything. He's got double summoners available, but it's a full collapse. Arge's position is great, but the feathers fly out, but Elk's still targeted. And look at this Cassandre, but he commits, he goes for it, and Shun is saving Private Elk. PSG committed hard for that. Their top laner dead. The play stymies a little bit more as Junja looks for the final kill onto Elk. He continues chasing.
I think that's going to be it, as they can't chase into the darkness too quickly. Jinjia's still sniffing around though. Couple of wards go down.
Oh my God!
Got him!
Captain Junja, meanwhile, finds a pick where none existed, but the turnaround as Shun held onto the ulti. Knight comes in, gets a kill. Woody exemplified there with the trade.
Oh, Betty's messing around with a Vi as well.
EP being burnt. This is getting chaotic real fast. We're going into the trenches as BLG have to get away. Archer running forward, gets the slow Maple with the seismic shove. On dodges, great little quickness, or rather shielding done to get out of the way.
But it's the 1-for-1 trade in terms of the kills, and when you look at the bottom side, Bin is getting the time to farm. That's the big thing that BLG are trying to play for.
True.
Bin is now equal, if not ahead, on the experience over Aja, and he's going to get to keep going.
Exactly. The experience difference that we talked about really early in the game is just getting outweighed by the gold advantages now on the solo laners of BLG.
What a chat, by the way. Junja, I give full respect to for this play.
He's been so
He hits the ward perfectly in the tri-brush, and then hits Elk perfectly over the wall. But then Woody as well on the Ashe equally gets caught as the ultimate from Shun locks him in place. And that money, again, it went on to one of these solo laners of BLG. The solo laners, with each of them having a 1.2k gold lead for themselves, really putting themselves into positions to carry.
As we start to open up back up out on the map, though, PSG arrive first. They're going to shove in top wave. Dragon in just under 3 minutes time. They're going to start to set up vision on this top side with Baron about to spawn in just a couple of seconds. Won't take it immediately, but at least being able to set up this vision means that they can also threaten On towards the mid lane turret, but keep your eyes on. He's made his way into the bot side, warded up, and now hovering over the side. Flash available, can come in behind Betty when he least expects it.
Muramanas here, you can see the 2-item Ezreal does not want to get caught here. No bounty, but still. He's had such a good game. As On's positioning, Dagger, a really good highlight considering PSG moving up. There's still no ward down towards this bottom angle.
Yeah, really smart stuff there from Betty and Woody. They're hovering up towards their team side of the map. They know the bottom side, that is the danger zone. That is BLG territory. Even though you don't have direct vision on them, you know that's their side of the map and where they just were.
Arrow. Elk, good dodge. Good dodge again. Playing with the hearts and minds. True Shot Rush still hurts like hell, but maybe Elk would have died, or at least pulled out a cleanse after that play.
But this is the confidence Elk has been playing with. Trusts his own beast, doesn't burn the ultimate, especially as you're starting to put more and more pressure here from PSG on this mid lane turret. And now BLG regrouped his 5. Nice, hovering off the side. PSG don't have vision.
Full engage there. Shun doesn't pull the trigger yet. Remember, Bin is now here as well. That 5v5 plays through mid around the potential Baron. Minute 30 till the Dragon with a poke from Knight makes us look another way. Junja takes a bit. We disengage.
The Gleaming Quill slowly but surely heating up Elk as well, alongside, I think it was the refillable pot that he still has, but now on.
Commit quickness there. He just flashes mid-point range as the feathers fly on out. BLG getting antsy. PSG got an advantage from that.
It was kind of weird to watch the minimap too, because Knight was heading up to top lane to get that top wave, but then they have the engaged mid and he heads right back.
Weaver's Wall great, those zones on off. On doesn't get the knock up here as Knight hits on the side, but for PSG, they're so scattered. Health bars are good as under turret, they're trying to take it through as Spin zones on off, tries to take the fight himself, flashes away. It's the final hour, but not as you'd expect. Condemn out. Bin lucky to be alive. Somehow, some way.
Everybody in this game is getting so antsy right now. They all come back to the A-Ram mid, baby.
I was getting TSM vibes from that, where it's fade. The second that Bin starts to move into position. But now BLG setting themselves up on this mid lane turret once more. The Dragon is just 30 seconds away, and everything has been burned at the flash on Ghost on Bin, the flash on Knight will have, and Elk will have their own summoner spells available, so at least that'll keep them safe. But on the opposite side, you can see everything is just being thrown at each other in this game.
It's definitely a fun one. Full vision invested from BLG up here towards the Baron side of the map, rather than the Dragon side though. So PSG, that means they're still gonna have a pretty good setup.
Knight's got insane damage. 2 items here with everything up and available. Dagger tells me that On's ulti is coming up soon.
All right, trying to get their way into the river here to set it up. Double control wards dropped, but PSG move in, clearing both of them out. Gonna force the face check. And again, because they invested so much towards the Baron side of the map, I feel like they're just gonna give.
Especially when Bin doesn't have a
follow.
follow.
Arrow Shun's out of the way. Great Vault Breaker out. Elk still gets poked here by the Ezreal as Betty's damage can't be understated, but they're in Dragon River.
Maple can get so much value as soon as this ultimate's up, because Bin can't really get into this fight. So
are they going to play Baron?
Split, BLG are going to go for the Baron and call PSG's bluff.
Exactly, that's why they put those wards down. Now they're going to rush it.
That arrow being down is huge. True Shot Barrage can help out for the poke as well. It's not going down as quickly as you'd think. The True Shot Barrage flying through hurts Elk. There's the front to back starting off as On has the quickness to get out there. The Baron is on PSG's side. The poke reigns supreme. And now PSG have a leashed Baron in front of them. They're hitting down, looking for the fight. Betty goes forward, but Baron at 2K going down. Bin's angle. Shot. Whoa! He can't steal it. PSG being given a lifeline. Bin goes into the final hour. Junja gets hit. Knight ulti hits one. It's Woody. He may have saved the game, but he's poked out 2. The range insane. Betty still winning the fight. Arcade shift. Insane. Betty. God damn. We're going to game 5, aren't we?
Betty and Maple, they take over, and PSG are going to destroy BLG.
BLG come at PSG from every single angle. They had to defend themselves. They had to land every shot. And Betty likes those odds as they start to move forward on. Watches as structures fall in his face.
Oh my, that Baron was a death trap for BLG. PSG caught them on it. The stun at Baron, they got 2 people down. And now PSG, not only do they get the Baron, they get the Dragon, they get the mid push. They took 2 towers after that. Here, look at this. Betty's ultimate plus Baron. Elk gets annihilated. On gets hit with Junjia's ultimate, and then Baron finishes him off. And you've got a crazy situation here, Dogda. Elk is so low already from the early damage that it makes it hard for PSG, but then Shun still gets into the pit, and Aja's gonna try and ult him out.
And then they do ult him out, but Bin is standing on vision, so PSG know they can just turn immediately over. Aja falls, but after that it's Shun trying to set up again, but Knight doesn't quite get the distance he needs onto Maple, so that then Maple able to get the damage down. And watch Betty, this is a masterclass. Gets the damage onto Shun, flicks back into Elk, turns onto Bin, and just barely, with Maple's help, is able to finish off the Bin.
Maple, those rocks, they killed Vi as he was point blank so close to getting that kill onto Betty, but they chopped him down. My goodness.
Power plays already brought up 3K. That was a fight of inches.
The funniest part too in the replay, when Aji ults out Jun, like the smite fight had already taken place, and they already won it, but now we're right back onto the rift. It is Dragon Soul point.
One might be caught on out, Arrow almost hits Elk. PSG can feel it. Taking it to a game 5 is the next step. As Dragon was taken, they're on Soul point. They've got the Baron pushing, Bin dealing with topside wave. But mid right now is fully under their control.
The PCS showing up at MSI this year massively here. Betty joining the team again. Him and Maple, I'm like screaming Betty and Maple like it's Flash Wolves back in the day. It's crazy.
It's such a throwback considering that, you know, these guys have been around for ages. Like, these are names that have been thrown around the region for the longest time, and they are stepping up to the LPL first seed that we all expected to be tournament favorites. Junja's ulti hits backline. Somehow the Weaver's wall's on Elk. They got the bot side. The feathers around, but he's against the wall. Still the damage done as PSG managed to get some summoners again, and that key ulti.
In the 4 versus 5 as well, Aja was getting rid of that wave in topside. And again, it's these massive ultimates that are hitting onto key targets. And look, Elk doesn't really blow anything, but it will be the bot lane tower that's going down. It's more control going over to PSG Talent. A Mountain Soul in 2.5 minutes. This is everything to play for PSG Talent.
It certainly is. Aja on his birthday, really having a treat. Let's see if they can actually close this one out though, because again, we have to keep reminding people how BLG have won their Wait, teleport is deep.
I mean, you might have set it up, you're right, but they turn instead. The cease and desist runs on in. Elk doesn't have the ulti burner before Aja. Behind enemy lines, Elk been abandoned. Knight may have saved the play though. Aja separates us. Now for PSG, you can see Woody and Maple's damage can't be underestimated. Elk is down and Bin's now only coming in late. The final hours of his vein as Aja's still squishing up. Watch Bin, the man we didn't talk about the whole game, is cleaning it up onto Maple. He kites away. PSG still has the member advantage, but On and Bin are running for their lives.
They're trying desperately to get away. Judges to follow the ult. Hit Bin.
One up, but on to Bin, they can't finish the job. The poke's not there. Maple can't get in range.
The ultimate to come up from Woody. They're just trying to chase them down to buy a little bit of time. The clock is ticking.
They're slowed on down. The vision gained as well. Who's Woody gonna hit? Flashing forward. Bin tries to outplay, gets one, but down he goes. PSG with another.
Maple flashes over, they trap the other kills. This game is getting crazy.
And it's not going to stop. It's a minute until Dragon flashes gone across the board on BLG. Knights is about to come back up, but this was the fight. The TP coming in behind from Aja moves everyone on BLG forward. They have to take the fight, but the arrow from onto On stops him from engaging as easy as the one to the Betty. Knight tries to save Elk, but Aja still rips him away as there's no ult on the Xayah to keep her alive, and Knight is just being mowed down by Junja, continuously CC'd, so he can't get the damage off until Bin arrives. And that little bit of extra help from Crypt Bloom means that Bin can't turn onto Maple before the cooldown comes through. And then the follow forward here, the flash from Woody to pick off both members, with Maple coming over the board as well. They can finish everyone off.
I want to get back to live so we can see the setup here, because Dragon Soul is arriving in 20 seconds already. Bridge control here for BLG though. Shun is the first one in.
These Junja, no, rather control wards there.
It has to be nice. You have that flash, you have the ult, you have doubt on your shoulders.
Yep.
The Azir was not something in your wheelhouse. This is your moment to try and show that you can step up when BLG needs you most. Stepped up like you have in the LPL. Step up on the international stage.
Trying On's caught out though, On's caught out, the Rakan's caught out, he's down! PSG have found a crucial pick leading into this game for us. Knight takes the Emperor's Divide, or rather, the ulti's there. He's disengaged on as he goes golden. I mean, Knight hasn't found the window. He's caught up. PSG are dropping them like flies. Elk and Ben now getting disintegrated. And man, the PCS is alive!
PSG are gonna push us to Silver Scrapes! We're going to a game 5 here in Jakku!
What world are we in? PSG Talon were doubted to get out of play-ins. They were doubted to be able to put up even a single game against the LPL first seed. And when they were doubted most, they push us the furthest distance possible.
We all asked the question, who is the unknown? Who knew all along while taking us to a game number 5 that PSG are the unknown at MSI for 2024. Silver Scrapes, here we come.
Bin could freeze the wave, get some resources that way. There was another fight where they just kept him bot, kept him farming. So he was actually able to get back in the game. But the big thing is when we look at BLG and we look at what they're strong at, if they